Tiny One Badger here, and if you guys don't know what's going on behind me, well now I know you're not watching my streams. Thanks. Now I've been painting this mural behind me and I do it on stream, so yeah, if you want to watch me paint this monstrosity, then yeah, check those out. Anyways, today we are going to be telling a story of heartache, of betrayal, of me messing around on Reddit again. I was on Expectations versus Reality, which is one of my favorite subreddits because, I mean, just on a personal level, I don't meet expectations very much, so I like it when other things don't meet expectations. It makes me feel like we're one with each other, you know? I find this thing, and guys, I'm gonna be honest right now. Bulbasaur is like one of my favorite Pokemon. Bulbasaur is just so great, he's so pure, he's so cute, look at him. And I just absolutely adore this Pokemon. So when I saw this person on Reddit was just defiled in this way, I didn't know what to do. Here's what happened. So this person orders a really cute little Spoopy Halloween Bulbasaur for $35, mind you. And all they do is send them one of those cheap little plastic pumpkins you can get from the dollar store. I believe this was ordered from a Chinese retailer like Wish and not from the official Etsy. So the official Etsy that sells these Bulbasaurs did not send them a little fake jack-o'-lantern. And I don't know, something about that just broke my heart. So I reached out to this person and I was like, hey, I can do okay things sometimes. Would you like me to make you your own Bulbasaur? And I did some research. I found out that this Etsy page has been selling these, and I believe they're 3D printed. They're not sculpted, but they also paint them, and you should definitely check them out if that's in your price range, because they look really awesome, and they have some awesome reviews. But I decided I was going to attempt to sculpt this creature myself. I think it's inspired by this person's artwork on Reddit, and I am in love with their entire Pokemon Halloween series, and I even myself have drawn a spooky Bulbasaur on stream before. So to make a long story short, I asked if I could sculpt this person, this Bulbasaur, and they said yes. So this video is gonna be how I did it. Now, to start off, I am sculpting this with Sculpty. It would be a lot smarter to use an armature wire inside of the Bulbasaur, because I think that would make it a little bit more sturdy. But I didn't do that. I just put on Rick and Morty and went to town on this guy. His head is a circle that I've added a little snake of clay to create that beak, and I've sort of carved into it just a little bit to define the mouth. The eyes, I just used my fingernail to make the indents for it and put a separate piece of clay into the sockets to mimic the actual look of eyes. And I didn't do any sort of detailing for the spots or anything, unlike what's on the 3D print. I just was going to paint those on. Yeah, the head's looking pretty good so far. Let's go into the body. Now, Bulbasaur doesn't have a neck. He's basically just a head and then a big fat little body. Big fat little body. I know how to enunciate and articulate my words very well. So I started by rolling out just big, thick body, and I made sure that the arms were equal sized and just slapped those bad boys on there. The way I get equal sizes for my clay is I just roll out a circle and then I cut it in half, and then presto changeo, I have two equal sizes. I'm not sculpting with anything too fancy here. I'm using, the tails of paintbrushes and the occasional needle just to get some sharper edges going on. And the ball on the needle is really useful for defining certain features like the indents of the arm or the brow of the eye. This little cup here, I've got some isopropic alcohol. I'm using that sort of like water with water-based clay where I'm smoothing out any fingerprints and just trying to make the entire thing look a little bit nicer. The best thing you can use with this isopropyl alcohol is these cheap Walmart nylon brushes. They remove fingerprints a lot better than pretty much anything else on the market. Once I think that I've got the shape about where I want it, remembering that I can sand it out, I start working on the pumpkin. The pumpkin, I just make a big old circle and start divvying into it with paintbrush end, and then I use that isopropyl alcohol to make all of the lines in the pumpkin. I carve out the inside of the pumpkin and use a needle to make the jack-o'-lantern face. I don't think this is necessary, but it adds a little bit of a spooky vibe, which I really enjoy. I have a lot of Bulbasaur reference pictures up while I'm doing this as well. And then lastly, I'm going to make the top of the pumpkin completely separate because there was no saving the top that I tore off of this pumpkin. And I'm doing the same thing with the paintbrush, just going at it, making those 8 indents like it's some sort of sport ball. What sport ball has 8 indents? A basketball? I don't play sports. Then I make the stem. The stem is really easy. It's a snake that's a little wider at the top. Magic. Now we're gonna set our oven to 257 and... darn it! Well, his head fell off. But that's fine, I'll just hot glue it back on. I'm gonna give everything one nice coat of paint, and then I'm gonna try and hot glue that head back on. Once I let it cool down, I start the painting process. Instead of using a gray for the body, I'm actually going with a slate blue. I think that'll add a little bit of dimension to it and look really good with the orange pumpkin. The paint's going on really opaque because I decided to spend $2 on my paint and not 50 cents, and that $2 makes an entire difference, I swear. I'm using a lot of glow-in-the-dark paints, which aren't very opaque, but I think it'll give it a nice effect in the dark, just, you know, make it a little bit more spooky. I'm going to do the inside of the pumpkin black, even though that's not really the color pumpkins are, but I think it looks a little bit more scary and Halloween-y. Watering down my paint just a little bit to make my brush strokes a little bit less apparent. I don't have a dotting tool, so I'm using the back of a paintbrush to make those dark spots on the Bulbasaur. The eyes, I'm going to slowly try to gradiate. I'm using tips from the YouTuber Delightful for this, and I can actually go in with that bluish gray paint and refine the edges because it's so opaque, it goes over a dark color. That's really cool. I completely suggest this folk art brand. While I'm painting him, I'm gonna hot glue the head back on and sort of paint over the cracks in it. I'm also adding glue around the seams. I don't think that's really gonna do all that much, but it'll maybe hide the crack a little bit more. I could probably go in with some wood putty if I was trying to make this super nice and official, but I don't really have the time for that because I'm trying to make this video fast. But yeah, use wood putty if you want to eliminate your crack. And to get those nice, sharp, dark lines on the pumpkin, I'm putting a little bit of darkish grayish in between the lines and gradiating it together with a slightly more opaque orange, not the glow-in-the-dark one, and that creates these kind of cool looking indents of the pumpkin. For the eyes of the jack-o'-lantern, I'm going dark gray, but I'm also adding in a little bit of glow-in-the-dark purple. I think that might look pretty good. And now I'm going to hot glue that jack-o'-lantern on now that it's got its base paint. And I'm going into the cracks around the Bulbasaur and adding in some hot glue there. It's a little bit noticeable on the outside of the Bulbasaur, but I think it's going to keep that pumpkin on way more sturdy. And the stem for the top of the pumpkin fell off, so I'm just going to hot glue that baby back on too. Hot glue is my lifeblood. To top it all off, I'm going to be spraying it with this Mod Podge matte. I don't know how it does yet. I'm hoping it'll kind of work like Mr. Super Clear, but not be $30, you know? So we'll see how that goes. I haven't done it yet, so I can't show the results in the video, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I just want a nice little matte coat on it. I don't want it to be too shiny, you know? And he's done! Look at him! I think eye shines make all the difference when you're sculpting something. He's so cute. And like I said, he could probably go for a few more coats of paint. He's not, like, done. He's just, like, presentable for the camera. I did this all in one night, and I'm sure you could get it to look way better if you spent actual time working on it. But I just wanted to make a cute little thing and ship it off to that Redditor because I feel bad that they didn't get, like, the Bulbasaur of their dreams, you know? I'll take some nice little close-up shots of this so you can actually kind of see what's going on. His face 110% got smushed, and now he's super uneven. But I think he's kind of cute. I did sand the back of him a little bit, and I tried my best to hot glue the head back on. Now, I'm not going to mass produce these. I'm probably never going to do them for commission. I just want to ship this off to a Redditor because I feel bad for what happened to theirs. But I hope you guys like it, and maybe you guys can try sculpting your own little spooky Pokemon. Look up some cool inspiration pictures and just go to town because I think Bulbasaur is pretty cool. I think he's pretty great. But you guys can do whatever Pokemon you guys like. Maybe you guys like Mega Gyarados. I really like Mega Gyarados. He's so cool. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and